Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to review the 2024 BET Awards. Yes, so yeah, I watched the BET Awards I guess now 2 nights ago. I never miss a BET Awards. I've been watching consistently since 2004 probably. That was probably my first one. I think the 3 previous ones I was a little too young. I don't even think I was allowed to watch BET. So I haven't missed one. But I got a lot to say about this one. Kind of some unpopular opinions, but I just wanted to give a quick review of the show, the performances I liked, the moments I liked, the moments I didn't like, or whatever. So usually I like to start off with my cons and then I go into my pros. So I'll do that real quick, and then just my overall thoughts. Cons. I think in general, I don't know. I didn't really notice it too much with the show. I noticed it with the pre-show. There's always a lot of technical difficulties. And I don't remember that when I was younger. I don't remember them having so many technical issues. It's just embarrassing every time I watch the pre-show. Like I said, I don't think the main show had that many issues other than the issues that Taraji had. But I noticed that on the pre-show and that kind of gets on my nerves. But yeah, with Taraji, I think, first of all, I don't even remember her hosting that in the past. I guess they said this is her 3rd time. I don't even remember. Maybe I'm just getting too old. But back in the day, I could remember okay, Steve Harvey and Cedric, Monique, Jada and Will, D.L. Hughley, all these different people. But Taraji, I was oh, I think sometimes I get this one mixed up with the Soul Train Awards as far as the hosts. But yeah, I think it's very, I'm sure hosting this type of award show is very difficult. So I do want to give her props for getting out there, dancing, changing into all those different outfits and trying to be funny and all that. But I will say, I don't know, it was a little cringy. It just felt like something was off with her. Obviously on some parts, obviously the Keith Lee part was a little embarrassing. Even with Haley, I don't even know how to pronounce her name, but I think she pronounced her name wrong. Haley Bailey. I didn't like the opening. It was I couldn't understand what she was saying. With the grills, I don't care about this whole Kendrick and Drake beef, so I feel for some people it really hyped them up, but for me, I'm just kind of okay, I'm sick of hearing this song. But I'm sure she was saying some good stuff, but I couldn't understand her, and it just was weird. And then even her talking about the Project 2025, which I think is very important to talk about, but it just felt so off-kiltered. I don't know if I'm using that word right, but it just felt so off to me. But she looked good, and hopefully, I don't know, they need a new host. I would like to see, I don't know who I would like to see. I think Marlon Wayans, I know he's not that big, but I think he would be kind of funny, like a Marlon Wayans. I could see Dave Chappelle hosting. That would be crazy. And I'm not gonna lie, as much as I don't really like Donald Glover, I think that he could do okay, and maybe bring back Monique or Kevin Hart, I think, was decent with hosting. Maybe Chris Rock again. That would be interesting. So yes. So there's been so much talk about Usher's tribute, and that includes some of my cons, but some of my pros as well. I didn't necessarily have a problem with the tribute being all women. I think it was just the women that they chose. The new girls, and I like some of the new girls, but I don't like them in regards to performing, and so I think it would have been better if they diversified the ages. I think a lot of us would have been cool with a Monica if these women or artists were available, like Monica coming out because she's from Usher's generation, and her doing a ballad, or Ciara would have been perfect, or even a Janelle Monáe, who is not from the 90s and early 2000s, but she's a very, very good performer and singer. It was just the type of girls. I mean, I felt like Chloe did really, really good, and I felt like Coco did good, but still, even with these girls, they're good for their generation. Like, it's still just there to me. It's not here, it's just there, you know. And but like, you know, Kiki, Tinashe. First of all, when I saw Tinashe's name in the intro, I thought it was gonna be "I've been a nasty girl." I thought she was about to do that song. I didn't think that she was doing a tribute. I would have never chose or thought Tinashe would be doing a tribute to Usher. You know, that to me, just the vocals in general, just for the entire show, was very like mid. You know, as much as I really did like Tyla's performance and Victoria Monet. And I know Victoria's a little different because she was really dancing. So I know it just feels like it's difficult to sing and dance at the same time. But it just felt like kind of like a struggle to me. So the vocals in general just weren't there. What else? And then, yes, the obvious elephant in the room. There was ass and titties everywhere. It was a lot of twerking. It was who could twerk the best. In that circle in the middle. The girls would get down to that circle and just twerk. And I love seeing the different women, and I really do like a lot of these female rappers, way more than the male rappers. And I honestly think that our response to them is there's a lot of sexism, but more on that at 11. But it did feel like the same thing over and over. There just wasn't a diversity in the acts, and it just felt like everybody was twerking and they were half naked. And not that I have a problem with twerking, but it just felt like the same performance over and over. And it just wasn't entertaining to me. It was, in a way, embarrassing to me just because there wasn't a variety of performances. That being said, I do think that, you know, especially with millennials and Gen Xers, I think we have to remember that compared to maybe when we were younger watching the BET Awards, like hip hop is huge right now. Like R&B is not being supported the way it was. Like even honestly, when I was in high school, it was like going away, like high school in 05, 06, 07, it was dwindling away, you know, but it was still there. And I think sometimes we forget that like these girls, like these rappers are who are topping the Billboard, or at least the charts, and as far as listeners and viewership or whatever. But I do think that when it comes to the BET Awards and a lot of these awards, it just feels like they're very out of touch. And I understand on one hand, it's like you have to go with what's popular, but you also have to go with who's really watching the show. Like, granted, like I don't think a bunch of Gen Zers were watching the BET Awards on cable, you know, Sunday night. Now I do think a lot of them were watching the YouTube videos and maybe even just the clips, but they're not watching the show, and I honestly don't even think that they're in the crowd. So it's like I think that there should have been a better mix of the R&B and the hip hop acts, you know. But I do think it's kind of difficult for them to, you know, choose who to pick as far as the R&B because they're not as popular as the rappers. But I'll get into my pros. The pros, I like Megan Thee Stallion's performance. I think with her, I think she does a good job at balancing the choreography and the twerking. So I like the first two songs. I like Hiss and I like Boa. I was like pronouncing Boa wrong. I was just saying Bo. I didn't realize that it was Boa, you know, like boa constrictor. But I like those two songs. She looked great. Like all these girls looked great. I was like, I need to get into the gym pronto, or at least be consistent with the gym. And I like her energy as well. So I liked her performance. I really liked Victoria Monet's performance. Like I said, the vocals were a little struggly because she was moving a lot. And I do think with all the outfit changes, it got a little sloppy, but I think she's a great performer. And I do like that song. I don't know why it was popular all last year. I didn't add it till after the award show, but I like both the songs. Oh My Mama and All Right. It was cool to see Kate Trinata too. So that was a great performance. I really liked Tyla's performance. I just like the balance of choreography, and you know, she was twerking out there too. She was twerking. She's petite, but she was twerking, okay? But her performance like gave me flashbacks to like old BET Awards performances, maybe from like a Beyonce, or like it made me think of Britney Spears' performance from the VMAs, Slave for You. I know some of y'all don't like that song title, but and that's one of my favorite VMAs performances, and I just got that from her. I love the setup, I love the dancing, I the first rapper, I love the way he sounded, the guys on the stilts, the tiger, which was women with body paint on, but that performance was probably my favorite of the night. Yes, and then okay, so Will Smith, that I should have kept that for the middle. Like, I wasn't surprised that that's what the song was gonna be. Like, when they said he was gonna perform, I'm like, okay, I don't know about this. And when he performed, I was like, this is definitely Will Smith. But I'm not gonna lie, unfortunately, his song really resonates with me right now, of just going through the storm and knowing that's going to pass by at some point. So in a way, I kind of needed it, but it's still not the type of music that I really listen to. And first of all, I didn't have a problem with the fire and all that extra stuff. Like I read from some people, I think the point is that maybe he's like in hell, or he's in the fire, he's trying to get out. I don't know. Black people are just afraid of their own shadows. I don't have time for every time fire is showed, or the color red or the color black, y'all think it's demonic and all this other stuff. I don't care. I really don't. But another thing is, like, for some reason, like, I knew he was gonna make a song about getting through all the BS, and I'm just kind of like, nobody told you to get on that stage and slap that man, okay? Like, I don't really feel sorry in that sense, because I mean, he's still good. Like, yeah, you can't go to the Oscars, but it's like, you go to BET Awards. Oh, the Van and Eris, that was so cute. And I wasn't sure at first, because I was like, I don't really like kid voices, and I was getting a little annoyed. But then I was like, this is so cute. They were so cute. The little backup dancers were cute. I love the setup with the school design. I loved it so much. And I was like, the kids need, like, the little kids, they need some music too, okay? The kids and the preteens and the teens, because they don't really have anything out here. And then, yeah, with Usher, I'm a big Usher fan. I love his first album, the self-titled album. Those first three, the self-titled, My Way, and 8701. But like I said, I liked Chloe. I like Coco, because I like when people go through the crowd. And Coco, at first, she stopped at NLE Choppa. She stopped at another guy. And then she stopped at a girl. I was like, oh, this is a first of the BET Awards. And so I liked that. And she gave Usher a little taste of his medicine, a little taste of his own medicine of, serenading him in front of his wife, which was a little awkward. But she spoke to the wife, too. She sang to the wife. But I really like Tiana Taylor and Victoria Monet's part. Like I said, I don't know about the vocals, but the dancing was just perfect. The dancing was A1. And then, yeah, his acceptance speech. I don't know. To me, I don't take it as that BET was trying to hide something. I just took it as maybe Usher should have been cussing, because, you can't be cussing. Like, that. They're going to mute it out. And then, but I do think that there was technical difficulties. Like, they just kept their fist on that mute button, and that was awkward. Also, the country performances. I'm not a big country fan, but it's cool to hear Tanner. I don't know her last name. I liked her performance, and then Shabuzi. And what I liked about Shabuzi's performance is that it really sounded like country. Like, I don't think that there's a problem with the fusion of like hip hop and country, or pop and country, and electronic and country, but I did like to hear just it being straight up country, because I think a lot of times when people see black country stars, it is a fusion. Not that, again, that's a problem, but it's just straight up country, and I loved how everything looked, and that he brought Jaquan out, who Jaquan was performing his ass off, okay? Because I think he knows I don't know if he's going to be able to touch that stage again anytime soon, but I thought it was cool that he brought him out. Another thing I was going to say, I didn't like Ice Spice's performance, but I did think that she put a little more effort than I've seen. And I've only seen like a handful, maybe 2 times before this, her perform. But she gave a little bit of effort, which is a lot for her. But yeah, I don't know what the hell she was wearing. I wish Doechii would have performed. They just showed like a music video, especially since I just saw her new music video. There's a lot of great dancing and vocals. Lauryn Hill was a good performance. I don't know what the hell she was wearing, but it was cool to see her son out there. And then I feel like this kind of gets swept under the rug a lot. I like that BET provides a platform for Black businesses and up and coming Black entrepreneurs. I feel like people just ignore that. They always have, space for that. And I think that I appreciate that. But I don't know if I talked about I said I was going to talk about imagery. I don't know. That's a whole nother video. But of course, from my end, it is a little embarrassing seeing, the carpet, like people were saying, like, y'all do not show up to the Oscars like this. If you get an invite, you don't, but the BET Awards, you do, and sometimes it is an embarrassment, but sometimes I think that there's like some, how do I want to say, there's like some deep rooted issues that we have as Black people and how we look and who we are like performing for and why we want to look so perfect and pristine and classy. Like I always question, well, what's classy? What is the definition and where does the definition come from? And I think sometimes we don't look into that. And for me, it's like, it's like I said, like seeing a Sexy Red, no, I don't want to always see her, and I don't want her to be the representation of Black people. I definitely don't hate her and have all this rage towards her like a lot of people do. I think she's being herself. I do like that she's like funny to me, and I think a lot of her music videos are really funny and humorous. And I think that's missing from hip hop sometimes. But I think sometimes we have to look at like, why is our energy so directed at a Sexy Red and not maybe at the people who choose to show this side? And I guess, obviously that was an issue that people had with, it's like, BET, why did we have all of these performances that were all similar in showing Black women in this way? But and that's what we need to look at. And then also just, when we get into, okay, well, this is what people are going to think about us. Well, sometimes you have to think about that person who looks at a Sexy Red and says, this is what all Black women are. Like, sometimes you have to look at that person being ignorant, especially if we're talking about non-Black people. Like, the internet is huge, and even though I know the algorithms can just direct you to BS, if you're looking at fights and you're looking at ignorant stuff, then that's what you're going to see. But to me, the internet is to me, there's no excuse for you stereotyping people. And last time I checked, I don't really care about the people who are stereotyping me. Like, if you see me and how I'm speaking and how I'm articulate and all this other stuff, I'm creative, and I'm sure there's a lot of people, other women, Black men who are like that. And if somebody chooses to ignore that and says, no, this is who I'm just going to look at rappers and reality stars as a representation of you, then they got their own issues. And I'm not here to persuade them to think differently of me. Like, I've seen that before, where there are certain, even Black people who are surrounded by quote unquote intelligent Black women or articulate or all types of Black women, and still they'll see that one clip on Zeus or not the what is that, I can't think of the white boy, Adam 22, No Jumper. They'll see that and they'll say, this is how people are. And I don't have time for people like that. Like, I just don't. And it's unfortunate that the people in the Supreme Court, the people in Congress may see these images and think that way about us. But it's like, we shouldn't have to change ourselves to be treated with some respect in this country. And the focal point shouldn't be on us changing. It should be on these people changing. We can get rid of a Sexy Red and we're still going to have messed up laws. We're still going to have poverty. We're still going to have this. So we need to stop focusing so much on that. I still think it's good to call BET out on their BS, because somebody wasn't paying attention to the performances, and they need to pay attention to what's going on. But yeah, definitely wasn't one of my favorite award shows, but it wasn't the worst thing in the world. So yeah, so tell me your thoughts below, what you thought of the award show, some of your favorite performances, whatnot, so forth. Tell me below. you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. I look forward to my next video. Thanks for watching.